Hey everyone, and welcome back to Wisbit's Random Gaming, and this is part 2 of my Ash vs Evil Dead playthrough on the Nintendo Switch. Let's get straight into it, but before we get right into the gameplay, please take the time to consider subscribing to the channel, give us a like, give us a share, all that good stuff. It's much appreciated, and you're really helping my content get seen by the wider audience. So we start the video fresh on level 2 after defeating that rather large nanny type Deadeye at the end of level 1. And like I say, I'm going into this game completely blind. I don't know any of the bosses, any of the levels really per se. I just hope you stay along with me for the ride and you enjoy the game as much as I do. Now, playing the Halloween game that's also on this cartridge, one of the big attractions for me was the potential boss fights. I went into it pretty much blind, similar to how I'm doing so with this. So I didn't really know what boss fights to expect. I know what ones I wanted, and for the most part, I got what I wanted. There was a couple of other scenarios or characters from the franchise I would have liked to have seen, but it didn't disappoint. And I'm hoping that's going to be the same with this Ash vs Evil Dead game. Right, okay, not off to the best of starts anyway on level 2. But yeah, as I was saying just now, the rights for the Evil Dead games, the films, they're crazy. So many people, I believe, own a part or believe they own a part of this franchise. It's always been a bit of a nightmare to get anything done with it. That seems to have eased up in recent years, what with the Ash vs Evil Dead TV series and also the Evil Dead spin-off movies. With the most recent one being Evil Dead Rises, which I actually quite enjoyed. So hopefully some of the characters from the early entries of the series will be making some sort of appearance in this game. I mentioned her quite briefly on the first video, and I've remembered her name now as we're playing through. Henrietta. Absolutely classic Evil Dead character from Evil Dead 2. Scared the bejeebies out of me as a kid, and I'm really hoping that she is a boss of some form in this one. I mean, the worst case scenario is going to be you're just going to get characters from the Ash vs Evil Dead series, which makes sense. It's what they've leased, it's what they've licensed, and yeah, I get it. But yeah, you can live in hope. Oh, come on. Right, I'm going to have to take a little bit more care when heading into that section. That's the same section I've died 2 straight times now. Whether I'll heed my own advice, we'll soon see. Now these sort of underground trees that stick out at you, you see, they kind of creep up. You don't really see them. They're not, okay, you can once you know they're there. But initially, I didn't even know they was a thing when I started playing this. But it's a bit sneaky nevertheless. You know, you got one bar of energy left, and if one of them hits you, that's a disappointing death. also hoping that one of the boss fights in this is Ash's Girdle. We all know Bruce Campbell, not what he was back in the day, and it's played for jokes in the TV series with Ash, you know, when he gets that chainsaw, gets that shotgun ready. He's at advanced age now. He also has to girdle up as well. Yeah, I've completely... It's the same section again. Right, learn from your mistakes. Come on. 3 times on the same section. That's just not acceptable. It really is. It's these stinking vomit deadites that they take the energy away from you. Fortunately, I seem to have got past it, but let's get past it before actually confirming that. There we go. Okay, hopefully this is some sort of checkpoint, and I won't have to reach that part of the stage any further. Now, one thing I will say about this game, it's not just pure hack and slash. You do have to time your chainsaw attacks, and the same in the Halloween game with the kitchen knife. You've got to time them to an extent, as you'll see me quite often swinging wildly and getting hit. So you've got to time your attacks to get the best results and make sure you get through with as much energy as possible before you reach that final boss. And yeah, platforming, make sure you don't jump on things like this deadly water, whatever it is as well, which I've done quite a few times. I do find that I have to adapt to platformers. Every platformer is kind of different, aren't they, in terms of the jump mechanics, the speed on how you have to play it, and the accuracy that you have to use when doing so. And yeah, this one is no exception. It's not difficult, I can promise you that. It's fine, it's easy to play. You will die occasionally. I say that, I'm sure I'm going to come up against some difficult levels as we go along. But it's quite a fair game as well. It's like any time that I've died that you've seen, in this game. It's my fault. It's not the game being tricky or cheating me. Cheap, as they say. Not the case at all. Right, we're going to... I think we're going to save some of my dough. I want to get... I want to get that spinning attack that Ash has. Hopefully I should be able to get that at the end of this level. Maybe I should have enough cash, hopefully, by then. But definitely intrigued to see who Stage 2's boss is. For me, I'm all about a boss fight. One of the things I grew up absolutely loving in the late 80s, all the way through the 90s, is your boss fights. Playing the level, getting to the end, and finding out who the boss was. Capcom in particular, I think, were the masters of the boss fight. For me personally, I know not everyone's going to agree with that, but their bosses were always pretty spectacular to me. You know, larger than life. Bosses that sort of made you feel inadequate once you went up against them, but yet you could still do it. I think a good example of that would be the Devil May Cry games. The one I'm thinking of in particular is Devil May Cry 4. Some great boss fights in that game, and doesn't get spoken about highly enough. Now, I love it on games where you have that option where you can hit something. The Turtles games is a prime example. And in this one, you hit something, it's a gas cylinder, gas tank, whatever you want to call it, and it can kill the enemies in advance. Only downside to that, I'm pretty certain that if I get in the way of the explosion, it's going to have an effect on me as well. So when I see those things pop up, yeah, best to tread very carefully as to where I am hitting them. Now, I love the sprite work in this game. The Michael Myers sprite, I think, is brilliant. The Ash Williams sprite is brilliant. I think they get everything spot on. And it's like that 16-bit aesthetic, but, you know, with more quality. A more modern retro take on the 16-bit style, if you will. Now, we've seen that style time and time again, and no doubt we will continue to see it. It's proven to be quite popular. But when it's done like this, you can only kind of gaze at it in awe and really enjoy it. Okay, so stage 2 boss. Is this going to be Ruby? Okay, on first glance, she's saying she's here to help me. I don't believe that for a second. Ah, hello, Overlord. Yeah, you'll soon change that, won't you? So Ruby is the daughter of one of the victims from Evil Dead 2. And she's got a rich history in the actual Ash vs Evil Dead series. To the point where it's a little bit stupid at times, her history. A little bit complicated, and that makes little sense at times. Now, Ruby in the TV show is played by the actress that plays Xena, Warrior Princess. Now, I forget her actual real name at this particular time. I'm terrible for that. I'll look it up in time for part 3. That's if she makes any more appearances. Okay, so if you've watched Ash vs Evil Dead, the TV show, you'll know that these are, yeah, believe it or not, Ruby's children. You can see the resemblance, can't you? Okay, so it looks like all you got to do is just kill the spawning enemies, children of Ruby, And she's losing energy, as you can see up there in the top right hand side as we go along doing this. Shouldn't be too complicated, but who knows, it might get more difficult as they go along. You would expect it to. Now you see, look, those guys a little bit faster than they were initially. But all in all, quite a standard, easy boss fight. Quite disappointing, this one, unless this is the first stage of the boss and there's some sort of mutation. Who knows? Well, we're going to find out very shortly, as I think this might be the last spawning of her children that I have to take care of anyway. Okay, one more. Oh. And they took quite a lot of energy from me towards the end there. The speed really increased. But level complete. Quite a disappointing boss there. I don't think that's the last we've seen of Ruby though. She's quite a prominent character in the show. And I don't believe that's going to be her demise, surely. Anyway guys, that was part 2 of my Ash vs Evil Dead playthrough on the Nintendo Switch. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Hopefully we'll have part 3 out in a couple of days after you're watching this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this game. Do you think the Halloween game is a better game than this one? Do you think they're good games at all? And also, I'm always open to recommendations for games that you'd like me to play on my channel. Till the next video guys, take care and I'll see you next time.